A couple months ago, two young entrepreneurs reached out to me to get feedback on their pitch. What they do is produce a chemical spray that delivers caffeine into your mouth. You can carry 30 espressos with you in your pocket for a fraction of the price. That's the equivalent of $100 if you were to go to Starbucks. On top of that, they've added nootropics to enhance the effects of the caffeine and reduce the crash. To be honest, I thought that those are bogus claims because I hear them all the time. But after having beta tested the product, I can unequivocally say that it actually works. And that's what's gotten me so excited about this company, is the iterative and honest approach that they've taken and how they use the products themselves and are already beta testing it with their customers who are raving about it. Let's go check out a little bit more about that pitch now. What inspired you to start your company?
We were in neuroscience together. We actually came together to McGill to do neuroscience from high school since we wanted to do a project together. We noticed that our friends were struggling during finals, right? We had friends in business and science and whatever. And what was happening was they're taking a ton of energy drinks, ton of coffee, energy shots, whatever. And they're having these intense peaks and crashes throughout finals. And then after finals, they're completely spent and, they're crashing, they're gone, right? We were like, why not just make it, a better way to get your caffeine, but also way more convenient, right? Mm-hmm. So we're thinking, what if we could do it in a spray format? So you could just have it in your pocket, multiple doses, and then whenever you need it, you take it out, you take a few sprays, and you're good to go. Yeah. And I knew instantly that I wanted it to be 2 sprays would equal 1 espresso shot.
Okay.
So before even looking, at the solubility of caffeine to see if that's even feasible, I knew instantly I didn't want it to be 3 or 4. It had to be 2 sprays.
That's like 40 milligrams per spray?
Yeah.
Your tech is that you can make more highly concentrated caffeine, like liquid, basically.
Exactly. So we increase the solubility of caffeine to make such products feasible and possible.
Interesting. Oh, very interesting. Tell me more about the product itself. How does it work? What's unique about it? What's the price point?
There's no quick way to just get energy. You then need to do an energy drink, which often has a lot of calories, sugar associated with it, or coffee, which you got to brew in line, however you get it. So we needed something that was quick and effective to do. With our product, you just spray it on your tongue, so it's oral, and then or you could just do it in a water bottle, which you caffeinate the water. Both work. Both are fast, and the idea is that it's quick, it's effective, and you have all that in your pocket ready whenever. So we wanted to get something that was more aesthetic, something that was more sleek, something that really spoke to more people rather than just a certain demographic of people.
How do you anticipate customers using this?
Yeah, so this isn't meant to replace coffee per se. People are using it as a pre-workout. People are using it when they woke up in the morning, and people are using it obviously to study. They're using it anytime basically they need energy. It's so nice because it's there with your phone and your keys and your wallet, and it's much cheaper per dose. After that, it was maybe another year of development just for flavor.
What are the dimensions of this item?
So it's 92 millimeters high by 16 millimeters diameter.
It's basically a little bit taller than a lighter and about the same width, or a little even less maybe. It's really quite small.
How are you doing the flavors and what flavors are available?
We've been working with flavor companies, flavor houses they're called. What's more interesting, I'd say, than mango or mint and all that is actually how do we fight the bitterness of the caffeine, right?
Yeah.
And we can say we went through a lot of bitter blockers, but there's this really cool company called Myco Technology, I believe, and what they have done is they've discovered a bitter blocker that they extract from mushrooms that blocks about, don't quote me on this, I'll check after, but I think 16 of your bitter receptors on your tongue out of 23.
Interesting.
So we use it on a product, and it's amazing how much it's helped.
And then do you have to add any sweeteners as well?
Absolutely, yeah. So right now we're adding sucralose, and we're looking into adding Ace K as well.
How quickly do you feel it?
So obviously, it depends on the person. Anyone who can tell you with absolute certainty how quickly or how long are lying, because everyone has different sensitivity to caffeine. Okay. This should be hitting you faster because of how concentrated it is. If you take it under your tongue, you have your capillaries, and then you're just taking it sublingually, and it goes through your bloodstream, much quicker than just simply ingesting it.
Yeah, the reason I asked that is I was wondering if this could actually be used for a nicotine cessation, because it's part of that immediacy that keeps people addicted to nicotine. You probably know this better than I do. So I was wondering if there could be something that sort of short circuits that.
So people have actually been saying that, especially because they look so cool, it could replace vapes.
Yeah, right.
Right? Because they're like, oh, I could just do this instead of vape. Because for them, it's a behavioral thing. They just want something in their pocket. They, do quickly and they put it back.
Right.
And since this product does look cool, we made the product design. We spent a lot of time on it. This could potentially replace it. In terms of replacing a nicotine, addiction with using this, I wouldn't want to say too much on that because that would be a very bold claim. So I would say that potentially people could, but I wouldn't say with certainty. We have to see.
That makes sense. Awesome. Okay, so let's talk a bit about the financing. So have you folks raised any money to date?
Yes. Me and my brother are the first investors to come in. So we're a 4-man team total. As of now, basically with the financing, we push all of our financing towards like a marketing approach mostly.
Okay.
We're investing in our video for the Kickstarter. We make sure that our brand aesthetic is like top notch, like the bottle looks, as it should, because we want to, give that premium vibe. We don't want to just fall into like, oh, this is a spray version of energy drinks. We want to use the fact that we have a higher concentration and give us more of a boost besides just that factor. So we definitely wanted to push the premium aspect as much as possible.
Okay.
And just in terms of like what we're doing for that, we've been leveraging our social networks, of course, like what we have available, and then we've been investing in Google and Facebook, Instagram ads. And beyond that, I have some connections with influencers as well. So we're working with them, and then beyond, even beyond the cold connections, the influencers are looking to them as well. But the idea right now is basically to drum up enough brand equity and get our email list bigger and bigger so that on our launch, you can get a really big, quick reaching of our goal. Ideally, we can get 100% funded within the first 2 days. That leaves us the rest of the 30 days or 28 days to just keep building up on the exposure basically. Because how Kickstarter works is they feature you if you basically have a really good launch.
Okay.
So the idea is, if we get that launch, we can get much further. And realistically, we'd love to have a really big launch on Kickstarter because that would allow us to reach stretch goals such as the refillable versions a lot earlier than it would be otherwise.
Right. Okay. Got it. If you were to raise financing from an investor, how much money would you be looking to raise?
Okay. So we'd raise maybe about $300,000 to $500,000. We'd spend that money on design for the refillables. We spend it as well on marketing because I think right now we have a really strong brand. We have really nice designs and a really nice outset. Our science is sound, our substance is sound. So we have the style, we have the substance. So I guess at that point we just need the capital to really get this thing going.
Cool. Okay. Going into this, I was actually not really expecting this. First of all, I thought you guys did a great pitch. So this is actually very tight. The two of you work really well together. The story generally makes sense. I actually think this would be very appealing to Silicon Valley investors. Generally speaking, it fits a number of the things that we really like. So in assuming that you get to the place where it's disposable, then you can move to a subscription style revenue, and that type of D2C subscription revenue is super highly valuable. And given the ubiquity of caffeine and for what it's worth, the addictiveness of it, I think the customers who do embrace this and start to use it, they would stick around for a really long time because there's not really appropriate alternatives available. The case that I'm going to make is that it does fit these outlines. So there's actually a lot that I like about this. For one thing, it is an alternative for how people kind of already access a drug, caffeine. People are very comfortable with it. I like that it's not inhaled, so that there's an opportunity for folks to substitute or harm reduce if that's something that's interesting. And then likewise, as I mentioned, the subscription style revenue really checks boxes. It's interesting, I'm sure you folks already know this, 5-Hour Energy is $1 billion company, and all they do is sell through gas stations.
And I think within the 5-Hour Energy that, it obviously does really well, or pulls it back or whatever, is that it's basically just one dose.
And it's really expensive.
Yeah, that too.
Well. Yeah, plus you can modulate exactly how much caffeine you're taking, right?
Yeah.
Because the problem with energy drinks and energy shots is you get a very set amount of caffeine regardless of your tolerance, right?
Yeah.
We're having some people tell us that they're very sensitive to caffeine. For them, one spray's enough.
Interesting.
And they're not going to get that anywhere else.
Yeah, that is interesting. I'm a fan. I like you folks. I'm really impressed. This is not what I was expecting at all. So I thought this is really good. I thought this is solid, guys. This is awesome. Woo! So I feel amazing. I've been using VAE now for a couple days. It has replaced my coffee habit. In fact, I actually like it more than my coffee now because it's quicker, it's easier. I don't have to actually drink the coffee, which sometimes I don't want to do. and so I have fallen in love with the product and become a customer. If you want to see the rest of this pitch or pitches like it, please sign up at www.divideby.com, where we're going to be posting content like this or other pitches. Thanks for watching. This is Encore from Divide by Zero.